Hey guys, living off grid, I thought you might be interested in what kind of tool setup I have. So, just a regular DeWalt. I don't know how many pieces. I've had this thing for a couple years. I bought my son one for Christmas one year, and then I just picked up this one. This just stays open on top of my toolbox all the time. Random assortment of screws and whatever, bolts and then very important, I think, for having solar setups and whatever electrical you're doing, some mass airflow sensor cleaner. There's some other electronic sensor cleaners, but it doesn't matter as long as they're safe for electronics, because if something gets rusty or corroded, you can spray this in like the end of a connector or something. Well, if it's dirty, I guess, and get it all cleaned out and stuff like that. PB Blaster. It's silicone based, so it's a little different than WD-40. WD-40 is great for steel, but if you have something metal that's connected to something that is like a gasket or a bushing or something rubber or plastic, PB Blaster works great because it doesn't degrade the rubber in the plastic. Got some starting fluid, just for whatever I need to start something. And then here's my toolbox. So top drawer is mostly wrenches and wire cutters and all that stuff. Oh, these aren't supposed to be in here. My old cruddy ones go in here. And then I got my electronic tape. These actually go here. We'll get to that in a second. Next, screwdrivers. Seems like I never have the screwdriver I need for some reason, but I have a shit ton of screwdrivers. I highly suggest having two, at least number 2, just regular Phillips head screwdrivers, and then at least one nice bigger pry bar type screwdriver. And then these guys are awesome. These are the T-bits, but they're the ones with the holes in them. I had to take my vacuum cleaner apart today. If you have something that has the little star-shaped bit with a hole in it, you can't get it off with anything but these. So highly recommend that. These are just some air tool fittings and whatnot. Just some random big wrenches and sockets and breaker bars. Nothing in there. And then this is the most important for me, is my electrical gear for all my solar stuff and my electrical stuff. So my first drawer is connectors, a lot of shrink wrap to put on your connections, a bunch of wire testers. The stupid things always break. The wires always break out of the connector, so buying a new one, because it's just that easy. This is I thought this would be great to check for voltage, but honestly it doesn't work for 12 volt. This is made for this is made for AC, like 120 volt stuff, so it doesn't work for me out here. I learned a lot of things don't work too well for that low voltage stuff. That does work for the other things. I have a bunch of lugs, different connectors. I never have the connector I need, because it might have a big ring and then a small hole, or a big hole and a small ring, and to find the one you need for the right thing is always a pain. I got some battery lugs. And then in here, we got crimpers. This helps to, connect those, especially like these guys, to crimp them on wires. So that's nice to have. Some regular old wire strippers. We've got, I don't have my other wire strippers in here. They're right here. So these guys are the best, man. Just grab and strip it right off. Some screwdrivers and some snips and some wire snips. So these guys are, I have a drawer for screwdrivers. I have another drawer for pliers, but I have another drawer with wrenches. This is specifically for batteries, for like your car or whatever. But I keep these in here because I don't want to lose them. If I need fix something electrical with my system, I have a drawer dedicated to just that stuff. Screwdrivers for that, pliers for that, all that stuff. So some old solar controllers that still work. And in here, got a bunch of fuses, Next to a trailer light. Electrical tape is important. Not only having the right kind. So my dad was an electrician, and he always had this UL tape. So that's what I've always gone with. I like having red and black at least. Super, super important, man. If you're putting electrical connections together and working on your system, you need, especially if you don't have like red and black wire all the time, wrap the ends with positive and negative to keep it clear. That way when you go back to do something, you don't ever have to worry about it. You're absolutely clear. If you wrapped it in red, sometimes this tape is just for me to go mark a wire, so I know that it's a positive. And then obviously black's always negative. So always I got some random switches and different things. Some solar, what are these? MC4 connectors, a bunch of different fuses. Can't go wrong with that. And then a plethora of random wires. But anyways, this isn't like the setup you should have necessarily, but it works for me. Oh, I'll show you this too. I just got this. I think this is really neat because I always have stuff that's missing a bolt or whatever, a nut. And this little thing is awesome because I can just go, say my wheelbarrow, I lose a nut on my wheelbarrow or my little trailer. I can go up there, grab one of these out, screw it on the end, and I know that's the right thread pattern and the right size to buy a new nut for that wheel or whatever. Super handy. And then this side to screw it into a hole so you know what bolt to get. This is pretty cheap. I got it on Amazon, I think. But man, this thing was pretty badass. I haven't got to use it yet, but there's several things I want to use it for. You know, of course, a big cup full of feathers, and then all the random other stuff that you may or may not need. And a dog. Alright guys, well thanks for checking out this video on tools, and very rarely do I have to find something, you know, is there something I don't have that I need? But if you need it, buy it, because you'll probably need it again, especially if you're off-grid. Alright guys, peace.